Hi all. Today I'm going to be looking at some of these Bunkr inflatable cover things for Nerf Wars and similar type games. Low impact games, obviously, because they're inflatables. The reason I got these is this month is going to be the 1 year anniversary of Manchester Nerfers here in the UK, and we're going to be having a bit of a celebration and get some silly blasters going into a bit of a play around. So I figured I'd get a set of these just because I've been wanting to have a look at them for a while, and it seems like a good excuse. And test them out. Now, I bought these and an additional one, but that hasn't got here yet from Amazon. The seller was out of stock, so there'll be a fourth one on the actual day, but it doesn't matter. The main thing I'm interested in is this bigger one. And the starter set, which is like 4 separate units, and there's this little concrete block thing. But what I want to look at is the feasibility of setting these up in a field. So in Manchester, we're playing on what is an old golf course. So effectively, we're playing on like a fairway. There's some sand traps and bits and bobs, but there's not a great deal of cover. And I'm sure most of you have seen these at this point. They're not the greatest for adults. But if you refer to Drax's video, when he first tried these out, if you put several of these together, you can get a reasonable amount of cover for an adult. So I say I've picked up a few. I've also picked up this this USB charged little pump. So hopefully, assuming this thing cuts the mustard, I'll have a link to this in the description below, as well as these products, Amazon. Assuming it cuts the mustard and the battery survive long enough. And it was a 5-hour charge, so one should hope it will last, but it was literally the cheapest one there. So Brad, who runs Manchester Nerfers, at this point doesn't know I've bought these, so when he watches this video, that'll be the first time he's seen them. So, hi Brad. Right, I will unbox them now and come back to initial impressions. So this is the starter pack. It appears to come with some kind of cards for game types and stuff. I have noticed that the entire box is in Spanish, and I've seen online on the Amazon reviews, other people have mentioned that these are all in Spanish, so they're probably not going to be that useful. Not that it matters. I mean, we're only really interested in the meat of the product. So, from Google Translate, these have a pouch in the bottom that you can fill with water to weight them down, or they come with like a tent peg, so you can peg those down. I can't test that today because this isn't real grass, it's plastic. So we will just have to use our imagination, but I mean, it's a tent peg in it. So let's get this out now. The tent peggy type things, 2, 4, 6, 8 of those. We got here some kind of puncture repair kit, which is nice. I have seen other videos online of these products where people have shot them with HPA powered blasters close range and they haven't gone down, so I'm pretty confident that unless it's mistreated, they're not going to break from, normal Nerf usage. These are the playing card type things. The base is in English there, but yeah. If anyone can read that, let us know in the comments, I suppose. But again, I'm not too fussed about that. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the pump out and blow one of these up, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so this unit is absolutely huge. There only appears to be one cap in here, so I'm guessing that this one is only to be pegged down. Big cap there. So got that, and then I don't know what that is. Is that a release valve? Yeah. So I'll get the pump out and see if it's going to fit, because I wasn't expecting this hole to be this big. Okay, so this one's just a little wall. It's got peg points at the bottom. Please ignore my cats. There's none at the top, so presumably it would be pegged up upright like that. And I mean, it's larger than I thought it was going to be, I must admit. I will get another one inflated now. Between the next few are these, which I assume are part of a puncture repair kit. I don't know, it's the same material. One's got a water fill valve on the bottom, so presumably that's just a tiny little base you would pour. Ooh, a brick wall fell on me. You would just fill it from a bottle, hopefully, when we're in the field, to give it a bit of weight. I was kind of hoping that they would have both the peg points and the water base, but that doesn't seem to be the case. The adapters that come with the pump, this middle one without anything on actually lines up into this non-return valve quite well. So what I'll do is I'll shove it all in and I'll film it going up because it's pretty quick. Okay, so just turn this on and we'll see how fast it goes up. So I'd say that it took about a minute. There we go. So again, that is pretty big. Again, probably not for an adult, obviously. But I think a combination of these already, look, we can build. Can you please just stand up? A combination of these already, we can build pretty large enough area for an adult to hide behind. What I'll do is I'll inflate the other two from the set off camera and set them up and show you. Okay, so the starter set consists of the barrel, the wooden box and these two walls. Getting them to stand up without using the tent pegs is hellish. I can testify that they're quite resilient because this fell over and I tripped over it and stood on it full pelt and it hasn't gone down, so I mean that's nice. So both of these style use the water at the bottom, and these obviously use the pegs. I mean you can see how I've just quickly set it up, and I've made an entire defensive line if that hadn't fallen over. I'm going to get the big one out of the box now, because that's the one I'm quite excited for, just because it looks huge in comparison. And we'll see that this one is absolutely huge. So it's a similar system to the other wall behind. In fact, it's probably the same pattern. Yeah, it's the same pattern. So it looks to me like it's probably 3 times the length of the one behind. This, I think, is the best one of the lot so far, just because it gives you such a large area. Even an adult could squat down behind that. I will include the prices at the end of the video, so we can try and work out, value for money. But I really like that one. The amount of rigidity is a bit. It's a bit floppy. I mean, I haven't filled it up probably as much as I could have done. Well, it's a matter of time will see. I mean, well, it's balancing itself like that, and that's without any pegs in it. So yeah, it looks quite good. I'll get the concrete block out now. So the concrete block is actually the same size as the wooden crate. So there's not much really in it. I mean, the imaging on the package certainly made it look like it would be taller than it is wide, but it isn't. It's a square the same as the wood. I mean, that's no big deal. I was just expecting it to be slightly different looking. As you can see, we've got quite a few of these in here now. We're all inflated and doing their thing. I think once we get the addition of the metal drum one that I've ordered separately, that's not going to be here for another few weeks, we'll have enough to actually build 2 decent sized bases at Manchester. Use the one big one with a barrel on one side and a block at the other, and then the other team obviously will have the 2 smaller bunkers with a barrel and a box. I might pick up a second concrete box just to make a rough matching set, but that would at least give you two lots to cover that even an adult could get behind, although they'd have to lie down. So hopefully I will, once we've played the game next month, I'll put some footage up on YouTube of them being used actually in a game, so people can get a better look at them and see how they perform. I mean, I haven't got water in them. I mean, in Drak's video, he was kind of bouncing them, but I mean it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. I don't think it would survive being properly jumped on, but it's pretty thick plastic. Pretty thick plastic. And the pump worked absolutely amicably. So I will put a link not only to these in the description below, but I'll put a link to the pump, because that's ideal.